becomes a
So what
financial.
is cheating?
So if he marries another woman, he's not cheating. The woman has the right to be sexually satisfied in her marriage. And my husband is well entitled to other ones. I don't worry about those ones.
Hello and welcome. It's the E.B.U.N show, and today we're discussing submission in marriage. First, tell me how I look. My husband picked the hairstyle, picked the clothes. Okay, I made the choice of the jewelry, so I better look good. Okay, so we're talking about submission today, and it's a very controversial issue on social media. Well, I'm even ready. Some of you want to have my head today, but what we will say is what we will say. And so, to have a balanced discussion, I'm a Christian, so as far as I'm concerned, a woman should be submitted to the husband. It looks like I've jumped to the end of the show, but then I'm going to balance it up. I'm bringing a Muslim on the show, and not just a Muslim. She's one of the ladies of Your View on TVC. I'm talking about Nyma Akashat Zibiri. She's a lawyer, she's an entrepreneur, and you know how opinionated she can be. When she believes in something, she says it. So on today's edition, it's no holds barred. You're welcome on the E.B.U.N show. But before I bring her, please subscribe, like, and share. Enjoy. Thank you. It's a good pleasure. We have Nyma in the house.
Thank you for having me.
You don't know how excited I am. I can't just be jumping up on this.
Don't jump.
Thank you so much for honoring this invite. And so we're talking about submission. It's been a topic
Controversial.
as in if I don't know any other topic more controversial than this submission within marriage in the world at the moment. So my own religion says wives submit to your husbands. What is submission to you, being a Muslim woman and a career woman?
The way I understand submission in the Quran is, in marriage, or I didn't court my husband. So there was no time for us to say, it's now that because I'm in love, that's why I'm submitting. Women like me have to be advised, enjoined to submit. Because if you marry someone and you find out that you don't like the person, how do you make it work? So when you take it from that point of religion first, I see it as an act of worship. I submit my entire body. I open up myself to my husband. That's how I see it, because people miss it. When people have abused that word submission a lot of times to mean subjugation, oppression. You take whatever you find. That's not the meaning, because the same religion tries to emancipate women so much, try to give rights to them. In the old Arabia, you had situations where men would just abandon their wives for months and say they're punishing her when it comes to matters of the other room. And a woman is not allowed.
Of sex.
Yes, of sex.
Whoa.
And the woman is not allowed to do the same. So that's how I see submission.
But is that in Islam though? Like, do men have the right to do that?
No, Islam came to correct those misnomers around the Arabia where the message was given, and we can then translate it to our individual lives today. My husband, for instance, cannot say I'm upset with him, and then my rights within my marriage, which includes provision, other room, that's sex, care, protection, that the Quran has also given him, because he is supposed to be my protector. Allah said that you're the defender, provider for your woman.
Okay, see, so there's a lot in this topic, because I heard you say something that you didn't court your husband. Like, you didn't have a relationship, say 6 months or 1 year before you got married.
Let me put it in proper perspective. Courtship, the meaning now differs.
Oh, okay.
So the regular today meaning of courtship, you date, you go out, you date and date and date. No. But we had a time where we met, and then within family supervision.
I actually heard your husband on one episode of your, I think it was Valentine, where he said that my mother went to visit her family in search of a wife, and I was like, whoa.
Yes, in search of a wife. So
and they found you?
Yeah, yes. Fortunately, because I used to make this joke with him that me, I wasn't ready, you know. But when she came, the choice was me. Oh. And when my husband came, he was like, no.
In that case, it didn't mean you didn't have a choice.
No, not ever. I had, by the time I met my husband, I would have had, at the time I met him, I had 5 suitors, including himself.
Were you allowed to choose?
My father would insist which choice you wanted. So at the time when I had made all my search and everything, I just said to my dad, I streamed them to 2. I said, anyone you choose of this person, I will not give this person a chance. I don't want to do anything. I had this relationship with my dad, and it involved a lot of choices I made at the time. So if I would decide on whichever one you wanted, I said, okay, this is a good choice, but I prefer this person because of certain other factors he had gone through, and so I had to give my husband a chance. I am sure, because I had that relationship, that if I had said, okay, this person you chose is not working, would have allowed me. That person would have had to.
So it wasn't a situation of being coerced into marriage. Okay.
Still ahead this season on the E.B.U.N show, mother and daughter. Controversial Nyma.
So what is cheating?
So if he marries another woman, he's not cheating.
Me don't do it though.
You better listen to what Nyma is saying now.
And the naughty Larry.
Thank you so much. I am Ebunlomo Oguntoye. Don't mention your name.
I am Janet.
The E.B.U.N show, the talk show for women and the men who love them.
Sometimes I go on your social handle and I see some people attack you. They feel you are overexposed for a Muslim woman, or there are certain things, because I've watched you for a period of time. When you're convinced about certain things, you speak out. But you see, even culturally, you are not expected to speak. So let me give you a gist. So I saw Jerry. So I went to meet this man, an elderly man. He fixes watches, and I was going to pay him to fix some of these wristwatches, and he wasn't doing the right way. Then I told him, Baba, now so you supposed to do amo. Guess what? Shush, you be woman. Women know they talk for when men they. So you see that kind of thing in our culture. How do we deal with that? Because this word submission, like you said, it is to your husband. But here, women are just supposed to be submitted to men. How are we supposed to deal with that in our society?
Okay, so fortunately I'm an African woman, fortunately. So it's in my gene not to be shot or shushed by someone. If I see something wrong, the way our mothers were. If a child did something wrong, no matter who your mother is, somebody will talk. So we are by our nature not quiet women, and I can tell you for free, the most opinionated, most assertive women that I have seen are the Muslim women. I belong to a group of professional women, and I'm shocked every day at the level of knowledge. I have a friend who is in the niqab, she's in the Buddha, who's a major, decider in an industry that she's doing so well. How can you be CEO of this company you have covered the market? You are controlling the market. She's so comfortable now that she's giving out the skill and training for free, and it doesn't affect her growth. That woman is supposed to be a submissive woman. But if you go into her family, what I see is a submissive woman. She's giving the love, the conducive atmosphere to pursue her own happiness, that she's willing to love and submit. That woman with the level of talent she had, if her husband were to lock her up, shut her up, she will find like I said, you can't bottle air. She will find a way to explode. She had so much in her. So the rule was first to the men, not to the women first. In the Quran is right, the verse that made men guardian and protector of women came first. And when a man has done his bit, provided the home, provided the atmosphere to allow a woman, I gladly submit.
So are we saying the woman's submission is conditional of if the man is ready to support her?
So I beg to let me test the popularity, because I know they will jump at this video. Please, if this was the headline, yes, yes, a woman is not encouraged in Islam to die in the pain. So we have a situation, because we've tilted it upside down now. We have women who have killed themselves with drugs, and I mean not. You go to certain places, they say it's alcohol that is forbidden, so they do the codeine. They try to bury the pain. A woman who is happy and secure in her home, she's not afraid of anything. Her husband has reassured and gotten her to that point of security that even the polygamy that we so dread in Islam, when the women I see enjoy it, they do, because every other thing that's supposed to be their fear is well taken care of. When I'm not worried about what my child will eat, who my child will be with, my husband is providing and is just and fair to me. We will allow these things that, the other things that we worry about to be done.
You practically have answered my question. That's the case of abuse. I was going to ask you about cases of abuse, and you hear so many. You're also a lawyer, so I'm sure you'd have dealt with so many of these issues. Where in the newspapers you hear he did it when he abused, when the father is the abuser of the child, and you hear when she was 8. He did it, but he's my husband, and being Africans, you are silenced not to talk. And again, it's happening years after. Most cases, you would have found it had happened like 2 or twice before the mother comes out to say, it has been happening like that. Is a woman meant to submit anyways?
So that's not a case of submission. When you see such unfairness happen, even to another person's child, there are several grounds for divorce in Islam. Several. But a woman who is not empowered, whose food, everything is controlled by a man, she will wait and say, okay, my provider, in fact, almost my God. Because if he does not give you, how do you then demand justice for your child? But a woman who can, let me use the word, damn it all, who stand up and fight for her child, and it cuts across religion, across social class, or anything. So we have some women who publicly have class, they're supposed to be the well-to-do, they're not, in the lowest of classes, but they still can't speak up for their children. So it cuts across. But in Islam, those are valid grounds for divorce. I can't even imagine it. I said once on the show, when I said, a woman has the right to be sexually satisfied in her marriage, and it is something that the husband must study. So that is around the submission that we're talking about. So a woman who wants to submit to her husband, if he's not, and you are having these issues back and forth, it is a ground.
For you to say,
yes, because adultery, anything that will push you to it, is a ground for you.
Okay, you see, it's loaded. And we're still on the E.B.U.N show. That's why I brought Nyma on this topic. We'll take a break now and we'll be back. Thank you for staying tuned on the show. And if you are not subscribed, tell me why you are not subscribed. I don't understand. Aren't you enjoying it? Click the like button and please share. Now we have Nyma Akashat Zibiri on the show, and it's been fun. We've been talking about submission, and now we're going to a situation where the woman is the breadwinner, or probably earns more than the husband. Let's talk about the difficulty of being able to submit to such a man. Now you dey buy am boxers, now you dey put food on the table, even pocket money now you dey give am. Is it easy?
Very
submit?
Easy. Very, very easy. Because in fact, this is the best example to explain my own understanding of submission. So yes, you do all of that for the man, but you have accepted him as the head of the house. Some women will say, I beg, you now turn your husband to a gigolo kind of setting because you provide. No, that's not marriage. In marriage, you have chosen this person as your partner. You're committing, you're separating from other people and committing yourself to that person entirely. It doesn't matter what the status is. And I've seen it within my own family work. I've seen it work well. In fact, a time came when things changed. I've seen it work with my uncles and my late uncle and his wife, where he had control of the house, had control of everything, and he knew his job did not allow. He didn't have a high-paying job. The wife was in a very, in fact, must not mention company, well-paying job, and she had right to cars, change her cars, change her house, and all of that. My uncle was just, you will come to the house and you cannot misunderstand the fact of who was head, you know, and he could call and say, Madam, my person is visiting, they will be around. She doesn't even show it. I think that's the most important meaning of submission that we should understand. So if you marry someone, for like my case, make friends with the person. Build a relationship where you don't have to doubt. This is my 12th year. It was my 12th year on Sunday, anniversary on Sunday. And I don't have any reason to fear anything.
Well, I saw you kissing on social media.
I wasn't kissing you. I pecked my husband. He's my husband.
Of course, your husband.
So it was an old video from a weekend getaway. So, but that's the relationship you're supposed to have. So submission comes from a place of love. It's not from a place of
and probably determination that it is not whether financial factor or this factor. Your mind is already set on I'm submitting.
It's not out of lack of choice.
Okay.
It's in the midst of all your choices. You choose
to
this person, and once you've committed that vow you to be with each other, I have submitted to you myself.
Now, let's explore the flip side.
But in Islam, there's an exception.
Okay.
So you are entitled to your properties. So you know, some people say you submit to me and I own all of you because under the
I was going to say that way too. So there's this issue that we are dealing with now. The woman, of course, well-to-do, has a good job. The man doesn't have so much, and so this woman, as far as I know about their story, tries to take care of the man, does everything, but the man is just like, okay, a very typical case. The woman bought something without money for herself, and the man asked that the woman goes to return it, just to exert his authority. Do you understand? Says,
no, wisdom is profitable to direct things. But in Islam, if he was practicing, because I'm married under Islamic law, if he was practicing Islam, she's entitled to what she buys for herself, to invest her money for herself or her children.
But you know, we talk about being
and invest what he gets from him.
You know, there won't be peace.
That's why
because if he insists,
wisdom is profitable to direct. In some worst cases, divorce is the solution, because your pursuit of your own happiness is 100% yours. The road to God is not by sexual discrimination. All of us we are pursuing God.
It doesn't appear that way, though. So
especially in Africa. You too, when you said it, you can tell that this is a man who's just being selfish. If it is about what works and what makes her happy, what makes you happy, she's entitled to buy what makes her happy. She can buy houses and invest. In my marriage, for instance, we sat and discussed that everything is jointly owned. Let's do things together. And with my legal knowledge, I put in certain details to ensure that there's clarity on the whatever is jointly owned.
I want to quickly deviate a bit. You said you put certain clauses,
certain details.
Details, okay. For instance, in marriages, do you advise women to insist on having their names on things? Yes. Or it is part of submission to say, my husband, we bought this, just put Mr. Oguntoye there, it doesn't matter.
Because for those married under the act,
my husband is laughing.
For those married under the act, if your name is there, it is not there, you're the next of kin. But if a divorce happens, you then have to go to court to show that at the time of our marriage, this and this were jointly bought. And as long as you can show the receipts came after your date of marriage and all of you, it's a lot of legalese that you have to prove. But for we Muslim women, you cannot buy property now and be Mr. and Mrs. Zibiri now. You can't say Mr. and Mrs. Zibiri. There can be 3 other Mrs. Zibiri because
that's the thing.
So I put in little details of just properly spell my name and we're fine. No clauses, nothing. I know I'm not that insecure. Well, why I'm putting it is because anything can happen and my husband is well entitled to otherwise. I don't worry about those ones. But at the time when we're jointly doing things, when I'm not foreseeing another woman in the future, I don't want to be debating what is right and what is wrong. And there's also the part of me, because I have children, I am working. I have the wherewithal to invest my money and say, so that my children can inherit it. My children have a right to my estate. My husband does have a right to my estate. just as I have a right to his estate.
And your children to
So
invest it.
it is wrong to now mix it up, not take proper inventory of it, so that my other wife now say, plus our estate is our estate. No.
Now let's talk
That's why
about
the clarity
otherwise.
is important.
For instance, in Christianity, it is when in the Old Testament men have rights to as many women, but in the New Testament it became detailed that a bishop should be a man of one wife. Well, it didn't spell out for other men, but it goes ahead to say fornication, and what we know fornication as, or even adultery, is a married man sleeping with another woman, or marriage outside, sex after outside marriage. How do you submit with a man who you know is not loyal to you? I know Islam accepts wives, but this man is not loyal. So I'm going to marry.
He's not disloyal either.
Hey, me, I don't know.
So he's not disloyal.
Because if my husband goes to marry another wife now, you now still say I should be submissive.
No, it's easy.
It's easy.
Yes, very easy. I always say it because
Would you toe that path, Sha?
You know, if it becomes my husband's choice, I won't divorce my husband because of another woman. I might divorce my husband because of cheating. If it becomes a
So what
philandra.
is cheating?
So if he marries another woman, he's not cheating. He's not a man who lacks value. Imagine that I was the one he was dating, and he had a wife at home. He's cheating with me. He doesn't have respect for me.
Marriage.
A woman you respect. No, I told you I didn't date. In your own term of dating, I didn't date.
Okay.
So somebody walked up to my family and honorably married me, asked for my hand, and then we're done. So it is the same thing. You want to marry somebody, you cite a woman. This woman is a woman who does something to you you cannot control. It is wrong for you to not say to me, I was married to you, I loved you, but I now have another woman I want to just, I cannot, so me and you were done. What about where we are coming from? What about, all the other things? If I am not willing to say, let her be sharing with me, I don't want problem. Give me what my own rights are and I can ask for certain privileges, not demand them. I can ask for my own space, my own house, provisions for my children. I don't even have to ask for provision for my children or myself, as long as we are still married. And say, please go on with your way. And as women grow older, it is not as women grow older, certain things you don't want to bother about. Let people be with their choices. But what Islam compels is that I don't suffer as a result of that decision that you make. And suffering includes lack of provision, total abandonment of the woman, lack of respect for that woman. Don't put down the rules that will compel respect. So, and I always say to the new woman that is coming in, shall the person that you met inside, you to do 20 years work, do 10 years work.
On that note, I'm going to have to put a teaser. You're a woman out there, you're listening, whether married or single. What is your take on this particular thought of your husband taking in another wife? As in, gonna do it. Me, Femi, don't do it though.
You better listen to what they might say now.
See the
It's for me and my practice.
So please, let me know what your take is. Feel free to explode in the comment
And if you're a
section.
young
Let
girl
me know.
coming, just respect the years of journey that your senior has done. And don't disrespect her. Some people are just too emotional. If you are coming, you are just coming. You cannot do the journey, and you're already telling the senior, no.
Or even want to totally snatch the man away. And we're still going to deal with side chicks here.
So what do you do with
topic.
the family that he built? You don't even, I don't believe you love the man you tell to abandon.
And as we begin to round off, my own opinion is you should marry a man you trust enough to lead you. Because, for instance, there can be two leaders in the house.
Of course.
And it says, wives, submit to your own husband, not to every man. Because some men mix it up and say you're a woman.
That
No,
is even very clear.
it is to your own
not to
husband.
his father, not to his relatives, to him.
So the moment, I don't know where we got all this mixed up from.
Sometimes they now adulterate him and his thoughts. So the moment him too is not representing you, there has to be a talk.
I know our time has gone, but you see, there is a part where it says submit one to another. He wasn't referring to husband and wives there. That's in the Bible, and that's in Ephesians chapter 5. So before he begins to talk about marriage, he was talking about brethren. So talking about communal living, deal with each other with submission. But when do you understand? Do to others. But when it came to the idea of marriage, it was very specific. So if you're saying you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, and I don't know, stick to Christianity, stick to Islam if you want to stick to it.
Yes.
But please do not disturb the context of the family by saying no, the husband has to submit to me too. Not everybody can lead a nation.
Let me quickly just add, I know we're almost out of time. One of the reasons why polygamy was legislated in Islam was to solve the problem of the sanctity of family, the sanctity of marriages. So, you know, men, when polygamy wasn't limited, just boom, later we can find the children. If you never find them, cousin can marry, you know, there was incest allowed. Islam now legislated it to streamline it, to make sure that a man will remember and ensure where his loins had been. And a wife would know what the right was. And if we remove emotions, how much is this property we are fighting? How many children does he have? Hey, Baba, one day they will share it. But we got to that point where greed and a lot of things informed our decisions, and things just the way that God had provided as solutions for us did not now work. There's no complications in life.
It's been a wonderful time on the E.B.U.N show on this edition, talking about submission. I know some of you still not agree with us. No wahala. That's why the comment section is there. I'm there waiting, and I'll reply I'll reply all of you. Thank you for staying the time with us. I look forward to another time with you. We're still going to discuss another topic. So please hit subscribe, hit the notification button. Let's give this video at least 500 thumbs up. It's possible.
Bye. 1,000.
1,000. Yay! 1,000. Thank you, Nyma, for coming on the show. I am Ebunlomo Oguntoye. Can I hug you? Thank you.
Talk about subscribers and likes and shit.
Okay.
So I think now.
My number one fan, that's the
Fantastic. It's going on well. Let's talk about the breadwinner status.
Okay.
And why it's not because
they are providing.
they are providing. So in a few cases, they don't provide more than that. Then let's